Buongiorno! But actually today we're not going to be going to Italy to make our lunch. We are going to be making something French. Yes, we are going to be making crepes. I know that's probably like thinking in your mind, oh, what's so special about crepes? I have had this obsession with crepes for a little while now. I guess it's probably because I've never made them. I've always been intimidated by them. Whenever I hear French cooking, I just want to close my eyes and be like, no, I can't do it. I'm just so familiar with Italian, that's why. So I wanted to reach out of my comfort zone and I wanted to make some crepes. So yesterday I spent the afternoon and I got all the ingredients. I actually researched it just to see which recipe was the best. So I came across one on Laura in the Kitchen, and I do follow her on YouTube. She has some great recipes. And so after I watched her video, I said, you know what, I can do these. So I ran to the store yesterday and I got all the ingredients to make the crepes. So today we're going to be making a berry-filled crepe but it's going to be filled inside with a cream cheese kind of filling. It's very light, almost like a cloud. I took these to my employees yesterday and I treated them to this thing of crepes. They just loved it. But that seemed to be the general word that everyone said, was that they were light like a cloud. So crepes are usually in the same conversation as brunch or like breakfast, because you can have sweet crepes or you can have savory crepes. On the streets over in Italy, they make crepes and they fill them with Nutella. I've had them with bananas, with strawberries. So like I said, the obsession continues. So now I know how to make my own. And this is actually a big batter that, it comes out to be. And if you don't want to make all the crepes at one time, you could just put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator and it could stay for up to a week. But maybe every day you might be able to make a crepe. You fill it with ricotta cheese, with spinach, with some cheese, like use them for lunch or whatever. But if you make these for your friends, guaranteed they're gonna love them. So there's 3 components to today's recipe. We have the crepe themselves, which I'm going to show you how to make. We have the filling, which I actually already made, but I'm going to walk you through it. And then we have the berry compote for the top. So I've already been, I don't know if you can see that well, but I've already been making, these are mixed berries that I got, right out of the bag in the store, and I chose to use frozen ones. And I put them in the pot here, I put them on low, threw in some sugar, and this way they're starting to break down. So what I want to do, I have the heat on a little bit, is because they're still a little bit runny, and because I'm using mixed berries, I have like a blueberry in there, I have a strawberry which is really sweet, and then I have the raspberry which is kind of tart. So I'm going to kind of blend them all together, and I'm just going to squeeze an orange in there, and it's going to give it just a little bit of an extra sweet kick. It kind of blends everything all together, and I love that. You could actually use the zest if you want to, zest a little bit here. I'm going to show you guys, try to have it zest correctly. You see how like the top of it's like right in here, and all the zest will sit in there. If you just run your zester along the top of your fruit, whether it be a lime or a lemon, it won't fall onto your counter, but it will stay right inside the zester here. So I'm just doing the half. I found that yesterday when I fooled around with this, I found that the half of the orange worked good. I think any more and it would be a little bit too acidic. Okay, so we have the juice in there, and I'm just gonna turn this over, and there you go. The little orange zest is in there, that's going. And also to this now, since I told you guys that it was a little bit runny because I used frozen berries, I want to thicken it up a little bit. So I'm going to make something called a slurry. And a slurry is cornstarch and like cool water, which will act as like a thickening agent to this. So I'm just putting a little bit in, and I'm just going to mix it together. Peppy suddenly woke up when I zested the orange. Isn't that funny? He was sleeping this whole time, and then as soon as he smelled the orange, he woke up. Okay, so I've mixed my cornstarch and the water, and I'm just pouring that in there. I'm going to mix it around. I've got my berries going here, and it's going to be a little bit cloudy at first, but then as it continues to cook, it'll get really nice and glossy, and then it is done. So I'm just going to let those go while we make our crepes. I'm going to actually leave that in there. Okay, so the filling for the crepes is also very simple. It's heavy cream, cream cheese, and powdered sugar. And you can throw in a little vanilla if you want. So you have to start with room temperature cream cheese. And I'm going to put all of these, you know, I always put my recipe down for you guys. It's a block of cream cheese, but it's soft. And mine has been out for a while, so it was really, really soft and smooth. And you want that because if you mix it up, you don't want those lumps in there. And it's heavy cream and powdered sugar. And when I smell it, it almost smells like a little bit of a cheesecake, like one of those no-bake cheesecakes. I love it. So I have this all made for you guys already. So I'm gonna leave that there. And now I'm gonna show you how to make the crepes. We can get rid of that water. Okay, so the crepes, usually you make them in a blender because they are so thin that you want that batter to be really mixed up and really smooth. You don't want lumps in your crepes. But can you believe, guys, I don't have a blender. I don't know, maybe when I changed the kitchen and, you know, we got rid of some stuff, I may have gotten rid of my blender, but I was in a panic yesterday. But I have this. I have an immersion blender, and it worked just fine. So if you don't have a blender, don't worry, you can use this. I would say if you were going to use your KitchenAid, it might not mix them up thin enough. These are almost like a watery consistency, but no lumps. So you really want it. Maybe even a food processor might be good. So, okay, so we're gonna get going on this. I have my dog outside, so I'm watching for her because she's been very sick lately. She's old, she's 14 and a half. There you go, Pep. So I've been watching for her. Okay, since I am gonna use an immersion blender, I'm gonna use a big bowl because I wanna be able to mix it around. This is an easy recipe. It's 2, 2, 2, 4, 4. So it is, let's see, 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 cups of milk. It is 4 eggs and 4 teaspoons of melted butter. So I'm gonna do all the liquid ones first. So I'm gonna put in this is whole milk. We're not gonna use skim, or we're not gonna use, you know, we're going right with the good stuff. So that's whole milk. And then we're going to pour in the 4 eggs. And I just went right ahead and I opened them up and I kind of whisked them up a little bit. So the eggs are going in. And then I have the 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And I did it ahead of time. This way it had time to come to room temperature, because you don't want to put hot butter with the eggs, or you'll make scrambled eggs. Okay. And I am going to go ahead and put in my 2 tablespoons of sugar in here so that can get blended up with everything else. 1, 2. Okay. So as you heard, my dog beckon me. She's been doing that a lot lately. She's been kind of sick, stomach problem, and a pinch of salt. Every time we're baking something, we always put in a pinch of salt. And before I turn this on, I'm just gonna let her in, so just give me 1 sec. Come on, Gracie. You always have to go potty. There you go. Okay, guys, I do apologize for that, but you know me, I'm an animal lover, and my dogs live here, and this is their house too. So, okay, everything's in, except for the flour. I wanted to keep the dry ingredient out, because I want to mix this. So, I'm mixing just all this around, and it's getting light and fluffy. It's almost like pancakes, but it doesn't have a leavening agent to it. And now I'm turning on my stove here because I want to get my pan warm to get ready to make the crepes. Okay, so I'm going to put this here for a minute. So this is just mixed up, and now I'm going to put in 2 cups of flour. It's just regular all-purpose flour. And I'm going to put that in. And we're going to, when we put it in, we always level it off. So that's 1 cup and 2 cups. And like I was telling you guys, like I was so intimidated to make crepes. I don't know why. My son absolutely loved pancakes. He will eat pancakes every day of his life. So like I'm like a professional pancake maker. And also they're in my new cookbook, so I'm excited about that. Okay, I'm just gonna whisk this around just a tiny bit to incorporate it in, and then I'm gonna use the immersion blender because I didn't want it to get fly out all over. We don't have a top because it's not a, you know, a blender like I should have. Okay. Okay, this is working perfectly fine. What we want is a nice smooth consistency just to get rid of the lumps. While I'm blending this, I'm gonna see if I can see some people on there. Hi Gina, how are you? Patricia, Kelly, Linda. When I'm going this way with the camera, I can finally see some people on here. My eyes are horrific. And like I said, I'm always wearing contacts. Okay, let me get a spatula here and go around the sides of it. And it really, it's becoming nice and smooth. So if you were using a blender on this, you would want it to blend for a good couple minutes. So I can control this with my hand where I see a lump, so I can get this nice and smooth. Okay. And that is it. We're gonna put this in the sink. Come here, Pep. Peppy here. Come on, Pep. He's such a good boy. I love him. There you go. Okay, so it's nice and watery. As you see, this is my consistency. I'm going to show you with a ladle. Look how thin it is. It's very, very thin. Now, if you wanted to get like a little more light and fluffy, you could put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes and just let it sit in there and let it rest. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to, so I've got my berries and they've really thickened up, so I'm going to turn them off. That's the magic of cornstarch, man. Anytime, you know that from making gravy. So this is now how my berries are, nice and thick, and they smell so good. And with that orange in there, it just like got the aroma of it, a little bit of citrus. It's gonna be delicious. So I'm just gonna let these cool for a minute because we don't want to put them on there hot either. So I've got everything set up here. I want you to be able to see. I've got my pan. Let me tell you guys, I think the hardest thing about the crepes was the pan, because you need a non-stick pan. So you can't use a cast iron. I couldn't use my copper ones that I always use. So I had to dig out this non-stick one that, look how old this is. But this is the one, guys. This was absolutely perfect for me. So it's 8 inches around, which makes a great crepe. Here, Pep. It makes a great crepe. So I have the lowest setting on, and for my oven, that's a 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to just spray the pan, and that is gonna be one of the keys also. And just like the first pancake, the first crepe doesn't come out very good. And so we're going to probably have to make a couple here until I can show you how good they are. Now this ladle also, I have a couple, so I played around with it. And this ladle is absolutely perfect for the size of this pan. So you want to pour it in, and then you want to just take them and go around like this. And you want to coat the whole bottom of your pan, and you let it sit there. It doesn't take long at all. And we don't want like a, hi Chris, how are you? Hi Freddie, you're right down the road from me. So while this crepe is cooking, like you don't want them golden brown like a pancake. You want them to be like a blonde color. So I'm also gonna get my plate ready here because I'm gonna show you how to plate this up. And no, we're not gonna eat carrots. This is from my man, Peppy over there. Go get him. Okay, so I'm going to be careful. And when you can tell they're done is they look a little dry on the top. Here we go. You can just see it'll start moving in the pan for you when it's done. And I just took like a little knife and I put it underneath. These are so nice and thin, guys. And then you just flip it. And I got one done already. I can't believe it. Yesterday, I'm gonna admit it took me a little bit of time to get these right because, like I said, I've been so intimidated with crepes and I don't know why. Okay, so you have to have everything right. Like the temperature can't be too hot, you know? So there's my first crepe. And I'm going to take it off of here. And I'm just gonna put it on this plate and let it cool down. And as you go, you'll get into like a nice rhythm of it, and you'll see how easy it is. And then we just put this in. I don't know the size of that scoop. I'm going to say probably a 6-ounce scoop. Put it around. And there you go. And then that will go. But I wanted to show you this crepe. For the first one, it came out pretty good, so I'm pretty happy. Look how nice and thin they are. You know, and I could pick it up and it's like paper. I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit here because I want to show you how to fill it and make this like heaven on a plate. Okay, so this is not, you know, a dietetic breakfast or brunch either. So, hello, Helen. Hi, Regina. Tracy. I'm so glad I could finally see you this morning. I'm awful with this normally. So, okay, again, this one looks dry on the top, and that's how you tell. And you can also tell because they'll start moving around from the sides of it. You shouldn't have to work at it, guys. If by chance, like, you're struggling with it, then it's not ready. And if you use a non-stick, it'll just, see how it just comes up, and then you just flip it, and then you're done. So I ended up making probably about 10 of these yesterday, but this is a big batter, like I said. So if you aren't using it right away, put it in a container, put it in the refrigerator. You can save it for like up to a week. You can make a couple of crepes every morning if you want to, every evening if you want to. Put Nutella in them, put some pudding in them, you know, put some cheese in them, egg, anything you want. This is a nice batter, but it will stay for about a week. Okay, so this one is done also. And see, look at, this is how easy it is. So now I'm going to take this one's cool, and you can even lift them up like this. And I'm going to show you how to assemble this. So I've got my crepe here, and I let it cool a little bit over there. And I'm going to take the cream that we made earlier. So this is the heavy cream, the cream cheese, and the vanilla and powdered sugar. I'm going to put a little bit in here. Pepe, you can't have any of this. Okay, and then you roll it. Just like if you were going to make like an enchilada or something, you just roll them up like that. And you can move them. I mean, they're not that delicate where you can't move anything. I mean, they're very very durable for a little crepe here. And then I'm going to take some of this berry, and I'm going to put it on the top here. If you could smell, like, okay, so I smell like the cream cheese from the filling, so it smells like a cheesecake. And then I have the berries here, but besides the berries, I smell like that orange zest that I put in there. And it's so good. So look how beautiful this is. And it took me no time at all. The last finishing touch, I'm just gonna maybe put a little bit of powdered sugar on the top here. So we've got this all on here. Make it look pretty. There you go. And if you wanted to make it fancy, you could put a piece of mint on there like I do for pictures. But today, all I'm interested in is cutting this open and showing you the inside. There's a couple different ways that you could make crepes or even eat them. Okay, but I'm going to show you this one. See, the inside is filled with all that cream now. It's so good. Hi, Barb. How are you? Hi, Eileen. Helen. How are you ladies this morning? Okay, so this is filled with all this cream inside and these warm berries on the top. So I actually have my cup of coffee and I'm going to go in, guys. And the crepe is thin enough where you don't need a knife. I don't know what else to say. It's so good. Yesterday, I had stopped myself. They were so good. This is honestly like one of the best crepes I've ever had. And I've been on the hunt for a while. So I'm super happy. Guys, this is so good. I wanted to show you one more way that you could probably A lot of times you'll see crepes in a store and they're folded in fours like this, you know, when you go to buy them. And they put the berries on the top or the cream or whatever like that. You could also make them that way. That's very traditional. But I wanted to fill mine almost like a cannoli. So I did it yesterday. It was just so good. Please give this a try. Don't be intimidated by a crepe. It took me so many years to make these because I was afraid. I was like, ooh, I can't make it. I can't do it. Super easy. And I have enough batter now where I can keep this and I can make these for my husband and my son on a day, like on the weekend here, a Labor Day weekend. Don't forget, we are closed from the 5th through the 7th. And we are very looking forward to our vacation. And when I come back in September, I realize there's 5 Thursdays in September. So I'm going to be coming up with 5 soups for you guys. I'm going to do 5 different soups in September. So we'll call it like Super September. And I'm going to give you a different soup every week. It's ready for the fall. It's my favorite season of all. It's just in my soul, the leaves, the crisp air. Can't get it here. So why not make it through our soups? All right, guys, I am going to enjoy the rest of my crepe and my coffee. And Peppy is right here. He's like dying to go outside. I got to get him out there. Come on, Peps. You guys have a great afternoon. Don't be intimidated by the crepes. And thank you for watching. Come on, Pep. Let's go out.